The cake had 7 candles, and my daughter Emma sat at the head of the table with that careful smile she wore when she was trying to be brave. It was supposed to be a small family party at my apartment. Just my parents, my sister Jessica, and a few of Emma's friends from school. Then Jessica walked in carrying a designer shopping bag and wearing sunglasses that cost more than my monthly grocery budget. "Sorry I'm late," she announced, pulling off the sunglasses with theatrical flair. "I was at the boutique getting Emma's gift. You know how it is when you refuse to settle for cheap things." Emma's smile flickered. She was 7 years old and already understood the subtext. "Thanks for coming," I said, pulling out a chair. "We were just about to sing." "Oh, before I forget." Jessica reached into her purse and pulled out a thick wad of cash, fanning it out like a poker hand. "I brought $2,000 for Emma. So she can get whatever she wants and, not look poor at school." The room went silent. Emma's 3 friends stared at the money with wide eyes. My mother's hand froze on her water glass. My father cleared his throat uncomfortably. Emma stared at the ground, her face turning red. "That's very generous," I said quietly, my phone already in my hand. I opened my email app and scrolled to the message I'd received 3 days ago. "Is this from the money you borrowed from Dad last week?" Jessica's smile faltered. "What?" "The $2,000 Dad transferred to your account on Tuesday." I held up my phone, showing the forwarded email from my father's bank. "For your emergency car repair." Did the repair cost less than you thought, or did the emergency never exist? My father's face went pale. "Jennifer, how did you? You copied me on the transfer confirmation, Dad. Remember? You asked me to check if it went through since you were having trouble with your banking app." Jessica's hand, still holding the cash, began to lower. "That's completely different. I am going to pay him back." "Like you paid back the $3,000 you borrowed in August?" I pulled up another email. "Or the $1,500 in June. Or the $5,000 in March." My mother set her glass down with a sharp clink. "Jessica, you said those were one-time emergencies." "They were," Jessica insisted, but her voice had lost its confidence. "I've just had some unexpected expenses." "Unexpected expenses like that bag?" I gestured to the designer shopping bag she'd set on my counter. "That's Valentino. Retail price around $4,500. Want to tell everyone how you afforded it?" Jessica's face flushed. "I don't have to explain my purchases to you." "No, but you should probably explain them to Dad, since he's currently paying your mortgage because you told him you had a medical emergency." The silence was deafening now. Emma's friends were looking at their parents uncertainly. My daughter was still staring at her lap, her small hands twisted together. "This is inappropriate," Jessica hissed. "This is Emma's birthday." "Exactly," I said, my voice calm but cold. "It's my daughter's birthday. And you walked in here, flashed cash you borrowed under false pretenses, and implied that we look poor, at her birthday party in front of her friends." I was trying to help. "No, you were trying to look generous at my expense." I stood and walked to my desk, pulling out a folder I'd prepared after seeing Dad's email. "You want to talk about looking poor? Let's talk about your actual financial situation." "Jennifer," my father said weakly. "This isn't the time." "When is the time, Dad?" "When you've drained your retirement account funding her lifestyle. When Mom has to go back to work at 70 to cover Jessica's debts." I opened the folder and pulled out a printed spreadsheet. "I'm a financial analyst, Jessica. Did you forget that? When Dad asked me to check his transfer, I got curious. I pulled your credit report. Don't look at me like that. You're listed as a co-signer on Mom and Dad's equity line, which gives me legal access as their financial advisor." Jessica's mouth opened and closed. $47,000 in credit card debt, I read from the report. Across 6 cards, all maxed out. Minimum payments of $1,200 a month, which you're not making, based on the 3 collection notices. Your car? Leased, not owned, and you're 2 months behind. That paid-off condo you're always posting about? It has a mortgage of $380,000 and you're 90 days delinquent. My mother gasped. 90 days. Your salary as a sales coordinator is $58,000 a year, I continued. Your monthly expenses based on your social media alone exceed $7,000. The math doesn't work, Jessica. It never has. You've been funding your lifestyle through Mom and Dad for 2 years. Jessica grabbed the edge of the table. You had no right to look into my finances. You had no right to humiliate my daughter. My voice was steel now. You had no right to stand in my home, wave cash you don't have, and make my 7-year-old feel ashamed of the life I've built for her. I didn't mean. Yes, you did. You've been doing it for years. The comments about my little apartment. The jokes about my 10-year-old car. The suggestions that Emma needs better clothes, better toys, better everything, all while you're drowning in debt and lying to our parents about emergencies. I pulled out another document. This is a loan application you submitted last month, to 3 different banks. All denied. You listed Dad as a co-signer without his knowledge. That's fraud, Jessica. My father stood up slowly. You put my name on loan applications? I was going to tell you, Jessica stammered. I just needed to. You needed to maintain an image, I interrupted. An image of success that doesn't exist. And you were willing to destroy our parents' financial security to keep it up. Emma's voice, small and quiet, broke through the tension. Mommy, can we do the cake now? My heart cracked. She just wanted her birthday party back. Yes, baby. Right now. I closed the folder and looked at Jessica. Take your cash and go. You can't throw me out. I can and I am. This is my home. Emma's birthday. And you're not welcome here anymore. Jessica looked at our parents desperately. Mom? Dad? Are you going to let her talk to me like this? My father sat back down heavily. How much do you really owe, Jessica? I told you. How much? His voice was harder than I'd ever heard it. Jessica's shoulders sagged. Including the cards, the car, the mortgage arrears, and the personal loans, about $90,000. My mother made a sound like she'd been punched. $90,000, my father repeated. And you just tried to give Emma $2,000 in cash to make your sister look bad. I wanted Emma to have nice things. Emma has nice things, I said quietly. She has a mother who works hard and doesn't lie to her family. She has a home that's paid for. Yes, paid for, Jessica. I own this apartment outright. She has a college fund with $60,000 in it. She has stability, honesty, and self-respect. Those are nice things. Jessica stared at me. You own this place? Bought it 3 years ago. I could have bought something bigger, but I wanted to save for Emma's future instead of impressing people who don't matter. I looked at my parents. I make $92,000 a year. I have no debt. I have 6 months of expenses in savings. I could have helped you, Dad, if you'd asked. Instead, you've been quietly draining your accounts to fund Jessica's Instagram lifestyle. My father's eyes were wet. I thought she was really struggling. The medical bills, the car problems. There were no medical bills. No car problems. Just a sister who couldn't admit she was living beyond her means. I turned back to Jessica. You have a choice now. You can get help, real help, financial counseling, debt consolidation, whatever it takes. Or you can keep pretending, keep borrowing, keep lying. But you're done borrowing from Mom and Dad. You can't control what they do. No, but I can show them the truth. I handed my father the folder. Everything's in there. The credit report, the collection notices, the fraudulent loan applications. They deserve to make informed decisions about their money. Jessica grabbed her purse, the cash still crumpled in her fist. You're enjoying this. I'm not, I said honestly. I'm heartbroken that it came to this. But I'm more heartbroken watching my daughter learn that her value comes from money and appearances instead of character and integrity. You taught her that today, Jessica. And I won't let it happen again. Jessica looked at Emma, who was still staring at her lap. For a moment, something like shame crossed her face. Then she turned and walked out, the designer bag swinging from her arm. The door closed behind her with a soft click. Emma's friend Mia spoke first. Is the party over? No, sweetie. I sat down next to Emma and pulled her close. The party's just starting. Let's light those candles. My mother was crying quietly. My father was staring at the folder like it might explode. Mom, Dad, I said gently. Stay, please. Let's have cake and celebrate Emma. We can talk about the rest later. My father nodded slowly. My mother wiped her eyes and managed a smile for Emma. We sang, Happy Birthday. Emma blew out her candles with real joy this time. The shadow of Jessica's performance finally lifted. Her friends cheered and dove into the cake with the enthusiasm of 7-year-olds who'd already forgotten the awkward adult drama. After the party, After Emma's friends had been picked up and she was in her room playing with her gifts, my parents stayed behind. How long have you known? My father asked. About the debt. Since you forwarded me that transfer confirmation. I spent Tuesday evening doing research. Why didn't you tell us? Because I hoped I was wrong. And because I knew that if I said something without proof, Jessica would deny it and you'd be stuck in the middle. I poured coffee for all of us. I was going to talk to you this week. Then she showed up today with that cash and humiliated Emma, and I couldn't stay quiet anymore. My mother reached across the table and took my hand. I'm so sorry. We didn't realize. You were trying to help your daughter. There's nothing wrong with that. But Jessica needs help you can't give her. She needs professional help and she needs to face the consequences of her choices. What do we do? My father asked. You stop giving her money. Period. No more emergency loans, no more mortgage payments, no more bailouts. She has to hit bottom before she'll change. What if she loses the condo? Then she loses it. She'll find a cheaper place, downsize her life and start rebuilding. Or she won't and she'll keep spiraling. But either way you can't save her from herself. You can only watch your retirement disappear trying. My father nodded slowly, tears finally spilling over. I thought I was being a good father. You are a good father. But sometimes being a good parent means letting your kids fail. I squeezed my mother's hand. I learned that from you actually. Remember when I wanted to quit grad school? You said no. Figure it out because life doesn't let you quit when things get hard. That was different. It's exactly the same. Jessica needs to figure it out without the safety net that's enabling her lies. We sat in silence for a while, drinking coffee and processing the wreckage of the afternoon. Emma heard everything, my mother said finally. I know. We'll talk about it tonight. She's old enough to understand that money doesn't equal worth, and that appearances can be lies. I looked at the closed folder on the table. Maybe it's better she learned it now at 7 than later when the stakes are higher. My father picked up the folder. Can I keep this? It's yours. I made copies for you. He stood up, suddenly looking older than his 68 years. I'm proud of you, Jennifer. You built something real. Something honest. Thanks, Dad. After they left, I found Emma in her room, arranging her new books on her shelf. Did you have a good birthday? I asked. He thought about it. The cake part was good. The before part was weird. Yeah, it was. I'm sorry about that. Is Aunt Jessica really poor? I sat on her bed, choosing my words carefully. Aunt Jessica creates money problems for herself by spending more than she has. She pretends to be rich, but pretending costs a lot of money. Are we poor? No, baby. We have enough. We have what we need and some of what we want. That's not poor. That's smart. Emma nodded, processing. I don't want $2,000. I know. Can I have a library card instead? I laughed, the tension finally breaking. You already have one. I know, but maybe we could go this weekend? And get ice cream after. Absolutely. She went back to organizing her books, content with the simple promise of library trips and ice cream. No designer bags. No cash displays. Just time together. In the kitchen, I threw away Jessica's crumpled gift envelope she'd left on the counter in her rush to leave. The cash was gone, she'd taken it with her. I wasn't done with Jessica. Not really. There would be more conversations, more confrontations, probably more drama. But today in front of my daughter I'd drawn a line. And that line was enough for now. Emma deserved better than learning that love could be bought or that family came with a price tag. She deserved to know that her worth wasn't measured in cash or appearances, but in honesty, integrity, and the courage to stand up for yourself. Even if it meant standing up to family. Especially then.